a second.
Okay.
Hi, welcome here, everybody. I am Tammy, this is Dina, and that is my sister Annalisa. We're so excited to have you here and to share with you guys a little bit about what we are getting into and hope that, or see if it's a good fit for you, I guess. We'll see, right? Timing is everything, and you have to figure out if this is something that you think is a good fit, because if it is, and if you're excited about it, then you're going to do great at it. So, and we all have different phases, right, that we go through. I'll start with, maybe we've been looking at this Kangen water, Annalisa and I, for about a year.
Yeah.
Just kind of watching, you know, how that is. We're seeing this. We knew it was something we wanted. The investment we weren't sure about, because it's a bigger investment. It's not just $100. So we were like, oh boy, you know. And she's got a husband that she's got to pass it by. Anybody here got a husband? They got to pass it by. It's a little harder. And then I contacted Dina, because I was like, Dina, I heard through the grapevine that you were going to get into this. I want to work with you. We want to work with you, because Dina and I have done some different other businesses together before. And I knew that for me, that was super important. It was really important because we have been in network marketing before. Me and my sister, we were very high up in Plexus. For those of you that don't know, we started a network marketing company. Within 6 months, we were up the top 5 in Canada, making 6 figures, and we had no idea what we were doing. We just knew that we were passionate and loved the product. But we kind of just, that we fell into. Now, having done it before, we know a little bit more about what we're looking for. And team spirit, I would say, having people that we can work with, having people that, it was just important. It was so important to us, because we understood what that means, and we understand also the freedom in that. Having that, there are so many people that I talk to that are in 9-to-5 jobs. They go to work, they're annoyed with people they work with, they don't like them. Like, I mean, I hear that all the time.
Of course, all the
It's
time.
actually crazy, and they've got to just man up, you know. And it's like, that's a huge thing for us. That was a huge deal for us. We wanted to work together with someone that liked empowering women, liked to work together, liked to just is positive, wants to be a better person in life, because all those things matter, right, when we're working together. And so we're really excited about this. Annalisa, what did you want to add on to that?
Yeah, well, and that's so true, right? It's my heart, as well as these women's hearts. We're all mothers, homeschooling moms. Our heart really, though, is to be able to live our life on our own terms. And we couldn't imagine being in the 9-to-5. That's just not something that I want to do. I want to be there for our kids. Both of these ladies do too. And like Tammy said, you know, once you know better, you know better. And it goes in both ways, in health wise, right? It's like, I'll start with the water. Everything in our lives have changed slowly in the last couple of years, right? We started making better health choices on the supplements that we sell and talk about, which is great. You know, you start switching out your deodorant, and you start.
Annalisa's made a lot of changes.
You can't burn a candle anymore. Like all these little things, right? You're starting to make these healthy changes, and I think that's the difference. People know how important water is for you. You don't even have to really explain it. We're at a really pivotal time where everybody just knows what it can do for you and what is toxic in our world right now. And that's an easy place to be in. So the more you know, you can't unknow. And the same with business, guys, the same with business. If you have the time freedom to be with your kids, and you've experienced that, and you have an opportunity where you can work from home. So I'll just quickly share this before I give it to Dina. When we've done low ticket sales, so what really caught our eye about this was high ticket sales and automation. And she's going to get into both. And I'm just going to give you like a little visual of what that means, because some people have asked me, well, what does that mean? High ticket sales? Well, it's a bigger item. Yes. And so you're, instead of making, you know, off of a supplement bottle, you know, let's say 30%, maximum 50% if you're lucky, right? So you might get, you know, a few $20, $30 max on a product. This is a few hundred or even thousands back on a product. And the automation side is, a lot of people don't want to run a big team or reach out to family and friends. So when we say automation, it means that they have a system in place to teach you how to run ads, create leads, and all the videos are lined up for you, which she's going to get into. And so this is a really unique system. And this is the time where we were like, what's working? You always have to be ahead of what is
You've
in
got
the
to
game.
keep your eye on
High ticket sales and automation is where you want to be. So we're excited that you're here, because you're obviously here because this has piqued your interest. And our goal today is to see if this is a good fit for you, because we want to run with whoever wants to jump on board. So Dina's going to talk a little bit about the water today and the business opportunity.
Hi guys, thanks for joining us. I'm so excited for everyone that's here and for just this first step towards your journey. So the main thing that I tend to talk about like on my social media and with all the clients is mostly the business opportunity, just because it is like nothing I've ever seen before. And although that was what caught my eye, I needed a whole year. Actually, it was about 1.5 years before I was willing to actually go ahead and invest, because I'm a researcher and I needed to look deep into what this water was and the health benefits and all of that. So if you're also a researcher, you can look up all these studies on PubMed under electrolyzed reduced water. And then that way, you know, it's not biased information, it's actual studies done on the water itself, not just this machine or this company. So the thing that really caught my eye on it is that it is water that actually helps fight aging, and not just for like the way we look, but actually for health, like for making our cells be able to work at their best, at their absolute best. And the number of our of the ORP, so the oxidation reduction potential in our water, like tap water. For me, I was using RO, so reverse osmosis, bottled water, and the water people get delivered in those big gallons, all of that. Almost every single one of them are acidic. And our bodies are more on the basic side, like just very close, but they are more to the basic. And acidity is where disease just like can fly. That's what your body needs, and it can't survive in an alkaline environment. So I was looking into alkaline water already at that point, and so that caught my eye. But what really just made like the massive difference in that, and not just alkaline water, because you can buy bottles of alkaline water, so why would I not do that? The difference was that this was electrolyzed reduced water. So you actually have this water run over metal plates, through titanium plates, and that through electrolysis actually restructures the water, both molecularly and structurally, so that it is able to change into molecular hydrogen, which is like the highest antioxidant that you can get. So not only is it just alkaline, then it actually is able to help you with aging. It like has tons and tons of studies and uses that you can look into. But just for example, like this all is from Japan, and in Japan their life expectancy is #2 in the world. Like,
guess
so
what we
high, 38. Like, it doesn't make sense.
That's
so
bad. Let's do something.
Yeah, and one of the major things that they're doing differently is they're actually using this to study things like cancer, for example. And they have these machines in, I forget the exact number, but like I think it's about 300 hospitals in Japan, and tons and tons of restaurants. Like I think it was 3,000 restaurants in, or maybe 6,000 restaurants in Japan.
Oh, wow.
So they're using this water because they understand that it is able to help the body fight off disease and keep you in the most healthy state. And that it also is, and it's able to hydrate your cells on like a way higher level, because when we have water from like RO, for example, and I always use that example just because that's what I was using, thinking that it was keeping me healthy. That water actually is dead water. So when it goes through that system that I had from my well, which is mineral rich water, but because it tastes gross, I wanted it treated. But the RO actually destroys the water because it takes out all of those minerals. So then you end up with a mineral deficiency.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's why I wanted to find out how I could avoid doing that, but still have water that tasted good and was good for my health and that I knew was safe. And
okay, I have something I want to add about the hydration thing, because hydration is because for aging and even your organs aging, right? We need to have hydration. And okay, this is something I thought was so interesting. You know, when you drink a lot and then your stomach is all bloated and it swishes around in there, it's because you're not actually absorbing the water, you guys.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've noticed any of the water that I brought you guys, but
yes,
if you chug like a massive amount of this water, you don't get that because your body actually readily absorbs it because you have the right minerals and everything.
And I wasn't thirsty after.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm usually more thirsty the more I drink.
Yeah.
This is different. Anyway.
So there's so much for the water that we can want about, but like there's a bunch of different types of water that the machine will give you. So just for a quick example, 11.5, which is the higher pH, that one is good for like emulsifying pesticides off our food, which I use nonstop. It's amazing. But like just for a few examples, you can use it as like makeup remover. You can use it for arthritis, gout. Like this list is just massive. And the fruit and veggie soak is mostly what a lot of people use it for, but you can use it for laundry. The list just goes on and on and on. And then the actual like Kangen water is the 8.5 up to the 9.5. So you can either do, 8. Let me think here. 8.5, 9, and 9.5 are the three that are more like the drinking Kangen water, which is the ones with the high antioxidants. And those have tons and tons of uses. You can, again, read studies and ask one of us for links if you want to find some links for that stuff. And then you have your neutral, which is just clean water, which is a 7, which people mix with baby formula. So it's just got so many uses. And then once you start to get more into the acidic side, we have the 6.0, which is beauty water. So I actually use that to spray on my face each day. I actually, first of all, will do the more acidic water, which is 2.5. And that kind of gives like a natural facelift. And then the 6.0 after, just to hydrate the cells a little bit more. So there's just so many different uses. The 2.5 is hydrochloric acid. So it's used basically as bleach in hospitals. That's what Japan uses. And it's like a healthier form of it that's not causing all this harm that we're using with all these chemicals. So again, that's another thing with people in hospital being sick and having all these chemicals just like coming at them from every angle because you're disinfecting everything is also harmful. So
yeah, for sure.
yeah, so that's just a bunch of the uses.
Can you give the blueberry picture? Because that really.
Oh
really
yeah, the
intrigues me.
blueberry story.
So everybody knows that like blueberries and many of the berries are very antioxidant. And people always talk about that. So the ORP that I mentioned earlier, the oxidation reduction potential, that goes to show like basically if something is antioxidant, it will be in the negative. If it's oxidizing, which is meaning killing off your cells essentially, it's in the positive number. So if you take a test like an ORP meter and you run it under tap water, for example, you'll end up with like a positive 300, which means as you're drinking that, it is oxidizing you. It is killing your cells as you drink it. And then also not being readily absorbed because it's missing so many things and it's dead water. But then if you go to the other side of it, like measuring the Kangen water, you end up with negative 400. And just to compare, you having negative 400, think of like taking a whole pint of blueberries and eating that. That's like negative 225 or something like that. So like this is just so much further. And for you to equal you having 1 cup, you would have to eat, I think 4 pints of blueberries or something to equal 1 cup. So the the antioxidant power of this water is absolutely wild. And that's why sometimes when people start drinking it, we'll say to start at the 8.5 and work your way up to 9.5, because you will get detox symptoms.
Isn't that crazy? From water.
Yeah. Because you start to actually have your body like start to heal and actually go back in aging, like you're going back in time. Like,
I'm in for that. Sold.
Yeah.
Done.
So that's kind of the quick spiel on the water and the machine. A few different things to note with the machine. There is a filter that you have to replace. That's like once a year. It's like $100. It's not a big thing. You know, like there's certain little things for maintenance. It's self-cleaning. So each time, like probably every 4 times. Good. Yeah, every like 4 times that I use it or something. I'm not sure how often. It'll just say cleaning, and the machine just kind of locks me out and it cleans and cycles through. Yeah, and then you have another little powder that you run through it each month or so to clean it. And then they also have an option for you to send the machine into head office in Vancouver. For us, where we are at, depending where you're at, you'll have a different head office, which we'll address later. And that you can send it in, I think it's like $50, and they do a deep clean on your machine and like kind of just reset it.
Do you do that?
Yeah.
Like a year? Once a year?
Whenever you want to.
Okay.
I think a lot of people do it once a year just to kind of prolong the life of the machine. But these machines are amazing. They're like, it's an investment in the beginning, but if you actually take the time to like calculate, which of course I did, if you take the time to calculate how long these machines last and like break down what that monthly cost would be, it's like $26 a month for this machine to use this water, to have this water for your family that is like the best and healthiest.
Last 20 years, the machine.
Well,
right?
and let's just face it,
amazing.
there's a reason why so many celebrities are on this, so many athletes,
Pro
athletes,
athletes, because they know it really hydrates their cells and
for
helps them
energy,
so much
right?
more.
And everything.
Yeah. So did I miss anything on the water part?
No, that was great.
Jump into this crazy opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So the reason that I wanted to know about the opportunity was because I watched one of my close friends. And when she first started, I was skeptical, of course. And I had to just watch and just kind of see, like, is this real? Like, what's going to happen here? And for the first while, and like, we're going to make this very clear to you guys, this is not a get rich quick scheme at all. Like, if that's what you're looking for, you're in the wrong place. That's not how this works. This is like, you work hard, lay the groundwork, get it all set up, and you eventually have like a well-oiled machine that just like will start pumping it in. And so for the first like 6-7 months, she didn't make any money. I just was kind of watching as she was paying for ads and she was investing in this and putting time in here, putting time in there. She was always present with her kids though, which was the goal. And I was watching to make sure that, because with me, with my previous company that I did MLM with, it ended up that I was on my phone constantly because I was messaging back and forth. There was no automation. So with this, I saw that it was all working for her. It took some more time to get going, but she continued to do the work and take all these steps that we would share with you guys in this training program. And eventually it just suddenly started to take off for her. And each day she put in her work, she did her follow-ups, she spent that time. And I think on average it was about 3 hours a day that she worked. And now she's at 18 months now or 19 months. The last 3 months in a row, she's been over $70,000 in the month. And that's like
Incredible.
less than 2 years into the business. So, and that's not to say that that happens for everybody at that. Like some people have done that at 6 months. I have a feeling these two will.
That's the plan.
And then there's others who were in this company and didn't have guidance, and they worked at it for 3 years and got nowhere because, again, without the automation, it's
And
not
the-
the same. But
And the
yeah,
guidance, you guys, it is important. Like, I just want to add in here, because when we joined in our very first company, we did not understand that. We had no idea that it mattered who you were working with, and
Yeah.
it really, really does.
Yeah.
In this type of industry, you do want people that know what they're doing. You want them to be available to you. Not that you want to be calling every 5 seconds,
no,
but
yeah.
that's why you create chats and you work together, and you work together as a team. It's a team. Even us three working together as a team, it's really, really helpful because not one of us can carry the whole load.
No,
But
and we all have different
together.
personalities, different strengths, and all that.
Totally.
But one thing that's really great about the way this is all set up is that all these videos are actually
Yeah.
made to guide you through step by step.
True.
So you actually have all that guidance, and then you have all of your team for if you can't find that stuff. So it actually
Mhm.
it raises up leaders. It teaches you to be resourceful and to
Love
do
it.
these things on your own. But it also is like an opportunity for you to work with people and have that accountability and that motivation. And like I was saying, like that one person who I'm thinking of, she I think was 3 years into it before she really got running with this business. And at that point, she just got that support. She got like all the steps laid out for her, and she went all out. And then now she's walking across the stage right now as one of the top leaders and also bringing in thousands and thousands each month.
And
each
let's
month.
keep that relative. Where on earth could you ever find a job that in 3 years you could increase your salary to that point to making $80,000 a month? I mean, there's not one of our,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
normal income that you could do that. And so
Yeah.
whatever time that is for each person, some people may do it quicker, some people may take longer, but the way it's set up is just so incredible
Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
you said, it's working for them.
Yeah, exactly. So you have it so that it's all working in the background. So just to give an example, because I just finished my 6 weeks about 2 weeks ago, and so that
6 weeks, what?
6 weeks of training. So it sets you up to set your business up to be automated. And a lot of people don't know what that means. So what automation means is that for me, I run ads, and then people click on those ads, which brings them to one of my landing pages where they then fill out an application to work with me. So it's so different than if you've done MLM before, when you're cold messaging people and you're bugging your friends and your family, and you're
Yes.
following up with this person and that person, and like you're feeling like you're harassing them to buy their supplements, or like we had
Yeah.
the monthly order being like, "Oh, are you gonna put your order through?" Like
Right.
it was just so uncomfortable, and it actually burned a lot of bridges. Like it's just not what I wanted.
Yeah.
But with this, all these people are being pre-vetted. Like they're being
Right.
going through this process of like actually seeing what I'm doing, then going to my application to work with me, then being led to a web class, which then guides them into a discovery process. So it's all automated in that way. But also when they go and fill out my application, automatically it shoots off an email to them. So my email will go to them directly, and then they know their next step. So I'm not sitting there on Instagram messaging back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I right away say, here, this is the next step. Go ahead and we'll catch up after. So that's what automation is that it actually buys back your time.
That's
And then,
beautiful.
so for me, just for an example, as I finished my 6 weeks, I got it all set up and running, and now my ads finally at a point where I'm like starting to see the leads coming in, because it does take time. You have to like try something and then be like, oh, that doesn't work out, to tweak it this way and whatever. But now I'm at the point where every day my email is filling up with leads of people applying to work with me, and like I'm not
So
having
good.
to chase.
Yeah.
And then
that's
all I have to
good.
do is each day 10 follow-ups. I follow up with 10 people, see where they're at, give them the next step or whatever, book coaching calls. But I literally played with my kids, was present with my family, having time with my husband, and then I come back to find 10 applications. So like the business is running itself in the background for me, making money.
That's
So,
huge. That's
the
huge.
beauty of automation.
Yeah.
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 And then I guess about the compensation plan, the reason that high ticket sales is such a big difference is because with every sale I make, it actually makes like a significant difference in our lives.
Yes.
That's
Before I
good.
would be like spending hours and hours. So it's automation with a high ticket, right? So spending
Yeah.
hours and hours
Mhm.
talking and talking and talking to somebody.
Yeah.
And then making $25 if they bought. And
Right,
so,
right.
so this
right.
way it's like, I have kind of the automation going,
Yeah.
working for me. Yes, there's messaging. Yes, I care about people. I do have my
Yes.
personality in that, obviously, because they're also
Mhm.
buying the people, right? Like not just the product.
Yeah.
So there's that, but then they eventually come over and they purchase. And when that purchase does happen, it's actually paying my groceries for 2 months off one sale. Like it's,
right?
and
I
groceries
think
are
that's cool.
expensive.
Yeah,
groceries are expensive.
everything's expensive.
Which is great.
Inflation's
Yeah.
expensive. And I think that's for, if anyone has been in the network marketing industry, I think that's a mind shift you got to
Yeah.
make. You have to have, how many people, 100 people compared to 10 sales, probably to make the same,
Yes.
like that. Don't quote me on that. That's not accurate, but
It is.
you know what I'm saying? It might be, but you know what I'm saying? So
Literally 40 times. So just, I'm not going to say the number, but the check that I got for my sale is 40 times what I would have made with my previous company and the one sale that I would have made there. So 40 times what I made in one sale. And people
Okay.
think like, because it's a high ticket sale, oh, you're not going to sell that many and blah, blah, blah. Yes, you do. People,
yes,
That's
when they
insane.
understand the value of this and all that, they don't care. Like they make it happen. For the people who really truly care about their health or about making a difference in their life financially,
Yeah.
they
Mhm.
make it work. And those
Yes.
who won't, they won't for $150 either.
No,
Like
that's true.
it's kind of blowing my mind how many people are actually willing
I think
Well,
to
people
invest
are understanding
and-
the importance of
yeah,
water,
yes.
like honestly, in
and
every
health.
single
Like there's
course,
a massive awakening in health
Totally.
right now. So
and in every single certification course that I've taken, the very first thing they say is change your water.
Yeah.
Every single time.
yeah.
So it's a very cool place to be in right now because we feel like this is the right timing for us.
Mhm.
And that's something that you got to assess. And we're here to chat with you. If you have questions after, obviously reach out to the person who invited you. But our goal is to not be in the same place as we were last year. We're always wanting to
Mm.
constantly grow and learn. But that
Yeah.
also includes, we all have very strong goals and visions to make a difference in our families. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is a huge goal of mine, is to retire my husband early, to be able to have time
Yeah.
freedom that we've never had before. And
Mhm.
and the regular network marketing has allowed us to do many incredible things.
Amazing. Yes.
And so we know what the potential is, but to
Mhm.
combine high ticket sales with automation, I really feel like the timing is just really impeccable right now. And like you said, and people are wanting it. And that's a good
Yeah.
combination. And really our goal is to walk alongside anybody who wants to join us in this journey, because we know how life-changing it can be, like in every aspect. And I would just encourage you guys to really think long and hard about what other avenue could ever get you to this place, whether it
Mhm.
takes you 6 months, a year from now, even if it took you 5 years.
Wouldn't that be worth it? Like,
Would that not be
Yeah.
huge and life-changing?
like what
right?
other company are you going to start working for that's going to have you making over 200,000 in a year that like
Yeah.
is just a regular, you start at the bottom kind of thing and work your way up. Like you don't have that much control. And like my upline for her first year now, or I guess it's moving into her second year, like she is at like, I don't know, 8 times what she usually makes in a year. And she's not, what month are we at? Like we're in month 8, like are headed to 9, I guess. So that's just how much you can actually change your life. Like,
Yeah.
depending on how much work you put in.
Exactly.
Yeah, depending on how much work you put in.
And
Yeah.
that's the beauty of it. It's all laid out
Yeah.
for you. Once you have access to once you purchase, you get this 6-week training. We're here to walk alongside you. And we'd love to keep this conversation going. So like I said, reach out to us. We are very excited for those who are jumping on board with us. And we're very excited to sit here next year and see what's all changed, right?
Yes.
I love that.
Okay, thank you
Okay, good
guys.
night.
Have a great night.
Thanks for
Thanks for
joining us.
joining.